What's up, everybody? It's me, Anthony, and it's the time of the week again. It's Anthony's NFL Picks. Week 8. That's heard me right. We are now in the 8th week of the NFL, and this season has gone by very quickly, and I'm very happy that I did pretty good last week. My record last week, I went 11-4, which was really good. It was not that great like last time because there was a lot of teams on bye week, but I still did a very good job, though. Now, because of that, my record is 64-43, which is really good right now. I was like 17-15 in week 2. Now in week 8, I'm 64-43. I made a big comeback. But anyways, let's jump right in and let's get started. Before we start, no teams are on bye week this week. All 32 teams play. And while you're at it, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bells to get updated on my newest content. Anyways, let's get things started. And kicking things off for Thursday Night Football, we got the 5-1 Vikings and the 2-4 Rams. Vikings are here after losing that close game against the Lions, handing them their first loss of the season after being 5-0. Now they're 5-1, 31-29. They're going to the Rams' place in SoFi Stadium, to the Rams who beat the Raiders coming back from their win 20-15 from their bye week. The Rams are all energized, and Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp may return. And to be honest, I think the Rams could upset the Vikings because the Rams have a home field advantage. Their starters are back. TJ Hawkinson, I was completely wrong about. He will not be returning either until week 9 or even later. But I still think the Rams are going to win this game because the Rams have more players that are healthy. But I think the Vikings could play up a good fight, though. But I still think LA could pull an upset here. Rams will beat the Vikings 24-13. Rams will be 3-4. The Vikings will be 5-2. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 5-2 Packers and the 2-5 Jaguars. Packers are here after winning that close game against the Texans at home, 24-22. Brendan McManus made that last-second game-winning field goal after them being down 22-21. And now they won the game 24-22. I'm very happy for the Packers that they're winning. They're doing really good. That whole NFC North team all in that division are very competitive. They're going to Jacksonville against the Jaguars, who beat the Patriots in London 32-16. Trevor Lawrence is looking not so great. Doug Peterson may get fired probably by this season. I think if they lose this game, I think Doug Peterson's job is officially over, and I don't think that he's going to keep his job, mainly because the Packers are a better team. And I slept on the Packers, which was pretty bad. But I still think Green Bay will beat Jacksonville because the Packers have a lot more weapons. They're healthier. I just think Green Bay is going to be the better team overall. Packers will beat the Jaguars 27-10. Packers will be 6-2. Jaguars will be 2-6. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 3-4 Cardinals and the 2-4 Dolphins. Cardinals are here after winning yesterday on Monday Night Football against the Chargers 17-15 with that last-second field goal made by them to make them go 3-4. So now they're going to Miami against the Dolphins, who are here after blowing that 10-0 game against the Colts, which is not good for Miami. However, it's actually good for Miami now because Tua is finally coming back from his concussion protocol after missing ever since week 2 with that loss in Buffalo Thursday night, 31-10. Miami is going to have Tua back finally after him suffering a long time. And if that happens, I think the Dolphins may beat the Cardinals. I don't know how Arizona won, but they won. So I still think Miami can win this. I know Marvin Harrison Jr. is a very good NFL player. His dad was amazing, and I'm obsessed over this guy because you never know. He could be like Larry Fitzgerald 2.0, but I still think Miami will win this game because they have a lot more weapons. They're back at home, so I think it's an easy win for the Dolphins. But it's going to be a close game, though, so I'm going to say Miami either way. Dolphins will beat the Cardinals 23-20. Dolphins will be 3-4. Cardinals will be 3-5. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC East matchup between the 1-6 Patriots and the 2-5 Jets. Both teams are coming back from losses. Patriots are here after getting completely humiliated by Jacksonville in London, 32-16. It just does not look good for the Patriots right now. Drake May is really struggling. And the Jets are here after getting blown out by the Steelers Sunday Night Football, even though they got Devontae Adams. But I still think that the Jets are going to rebound, and I think they're going to beat the Patriots because the Jets have a lot more weapons. I know they're going to be away in New England, but I still think the Jets are a better team. Aaron Rodgers needs to regroup. They're 2-5. I think he may retire, but I still think the Jets have a shot at beating New England. And if they don't, then that's a problem. Jets will beat the Patriots 30-17. The Jets will be 3-5. Patriots will be 1-7. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC North matchup between the 5-2 Ravens and the 1-6 Browns. Ravens are here after completely annihilating Tampa Bay 41-31. Lamar Jackson now overall in the NFC conference is 23-1. The only loss was against the Giants. He's amazing, Lamar Jackson, and I hope he wins MVP again. And Derrick Henry's doing an amazing job. They start off 0-2. They had a very rough start, but now they're 5-2. They won 5 straight games. I think they're going to win their 6th straight game. They're taking on the Browns, who are 1-6 after losing to the Bengals 21-14. And to make things even worse, Deshaun Watson is out for the whole season after touring his Achilles. So that's a huge loss for Cleveland. I think that the Ravens are going to completely beat down the Browns, and I think the Ravens will continue on this winning streak. So I think it's going to be Baltimore. Ravens will beat the Browns 33-21. Ravens will be 6-2. Browns will be 1-7. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got a pretty good game between the 4-2 Eagles and the 3-4 Bengals. Eagles are here after completely annihilating the Giants at home 28-3. My goodness, Saquon Barkley kind of got his revenge. Apparently it wasn't his revenge, but I didn't see it that way. They completely walked all over the Giants with A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts. It just does not look good for the Giants. The Eagles, they're going on in Cincinnati against the Bengals, who are 3-4 after winning 2 straight games. They beat the Browns 21-14. They're starting to regroup after starting off 1-4. They're starting to get a little bit better. So, not 1-4. Yeah, they were 1-4. And now they're 3-4, which is, a good start. They were off. The Bengals always start off very weird, like in the beginning of the season, but I think they could still have a shot at making the playoffs. But I think the Bengals may win this game because it's in Cincinnati. They have a home field advantage, so it's going to be an easy win. I think they're going to beat the Eagles because the Eagles, I know they got Saquon Barkley and all, but I still think Cincinnati still has a shot of doing an amazing job. Bengals will beat the Eagles 28-22. Bengals will be 4-4. Eagles will be 4-3. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC South matchup between the 4-3 Colts and the 5-2 Texans. Colts are here after beating the Dolphins, coming back and winning that game 16-10. Anthony Richardson had a very rough game in the beginning of the first quarter. They just looked a little bit hard right now for the Colts, but they're 4-3. They're over 500. However, they go into Houston against the Texans, who are 5-2 after losing that close game against the Packers. CJ Stroud's a little angry, but you know what? I think that the Texans will sweep the Colts this season. They beat them week 1, 29-27. I think the Texans will gain back on track and beat down the Colts. Texans will beat the Colts 31-19. Texans will be 6-2. Colts will be 4-4. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 1-5 Titans and the 5-1 Lions. The Titans are here after completely getting annihilated by Buffalo 34-10. The Titans are a really bad team, and Mason Rudolph actually started because Will Levis was hurt with an injury, so that's not good for the Titans. They're going on to the Detroit Ford Field against the Lions, who ended the Vikings' undefeated season, knocking them out 31-29. So that's a huge win for Detroit. I think they're going to knock out Tennessee. The Lions are a great team, and I know Hutchinson, they don't have a defense that much anymore due to Hutchinson getting out for the whole season with a broken tibia and fibula. I still think Detroit will have a shot and obviously beat down the Titans. The Titans are not a good team. They're rebuilding. They don't look good for Titan fans out there. I'm sorry, but the Tennessee Titans are just not a good team. Lions will beat the Titans 24-3. The Lions will now be 6-1. The Titans will be 1-6. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an NFC South matchup between the 4-3 Buccaneers and the 4-3 Falcons and the 4-3 Buccaneers. Both teams are coming back from losses. Both are trying to get first place in the NFC South. The Falcons are here after completely losing to Seattle. That was a very bad game by Kirk Cousins. How do you lose to the Seahawks after losing 3 straight? But anyway, I think that the Buccaneers may win this game. However, they're coming back from a loss against the Ravens on Monday night yesterday, 41-31, which was really bad for the Buccaneers. Mike Evans got hurt with a hamstring injury. Really hope that doesn't affect the Buccaneers, because if so, then they could lose to Atlanta. And Chris Godwin is also, he got hurt as well, so that's not good for the Buccaneers. But if they're hurt, then that's a huge disadvantage. It's in Tampa Bay, though, But you know what? I still have to trust my gut with this one. I was talking to my friend Nick, but I still think that the Buccaneers may have a shot of winning this because Mike Evans was considered questionable, but he may go out in the later on. But you know what? I think that the Buccaneers could still have a shot of winning this game. They're at home. They have a home field advantage, so it's going to be easy for them to say, but it's being a close game, though, so I'm going to still go with Tampa. Buccaneers will beat the Falcons 29-26. Buccaneers will be 5-3. Falcons will be 4-4. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 5-2 Bills and the 4-3 Seahawks. The Bills are here after winning. Both teams coming back from wins. Buffalo's here after coming back after losing 10-0 to the Titans in the second quarter. They won that game 34-10. And during the NFL picks last week when I was doing Anthony's NFL picks, Amari Cooper actually signed with the Bills, actually. So that's a huge loss for the Browns. So the Bills look amazing right now. I still think they're going to continue their winning streak, and I think they're going to beat Seattle. I know it's in Seattle, and the Seahawks, there could be a bit of trouble right now because apparently DK Metcalf is out with an MCL injury. It's a sprain, but if he's out for the whole season, then that's a huge disadvantage for the Seahawks. But I still think Buffalo will win this game because the Bills are a better team at the end of the day. I think the Bills could make some, noise, but the Bills don't have a great, they let a lot of points go at each other. They did a lot with the Jets on last Monday night, 23-20. But I still think Buffalo will continue to lead the AFC East by the end of this season. Bills will beat the Seahawks 28-21. Bills will be 6-2. Seahawks will be 4-4. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 2-5 Saints and the 3-3 Chargers. Both teams are coming back from losses. The Saints, they're here after losing to the Broncos 33-10 when Drew Brees was going to get inducted into the Saints Hall of Fame. They got completely destroyed out there. Spencer Rattler did not do a good job. I don't even know if Spencer Rattler is even starting this weekend because either Derek Carr could come back after suffering that oblique injury on Monday night against the Chiefs. That's a huge disadvantage for the Saints. The Saints were 2-0 at one point this season. Now they lost 5 straight games. Now they're 2-5. And I think Dennis Allen could possibly lose his job probably at the end of next week, I think. I think next week Dennis Allen will get fired and no longer be the Saints head coach. The Saints are not a good team. They're just not good. And now they're going on to LA against the Chargers, who are angry after suffering that 17-15 loss against the Cardinals in Arizona. Jim Harbaugh needs to do a better job. But I still think that the Chargers will win this game because they're a better team. And the Saints are just injured to the bits and pieces. So I still think that the Chargers will win this game, no doubt. Chargers will beat the Saints 30-14. Chargers will be 4-3. The Saints will be 2-6. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got a pretty good game between the 4-2 Bears and my 5-2 Commanders, baby. Let's go. The Bears, they're here coming back from their bye week. They're all energized. They're all ready to go down. And now they're going to D.C. against my 5-2 Commanders, baby. After we completely smacked Carolina in the face, 40-7. However, Jaden Daniels is hurt, however. He suffered a bad injury, a bad rib injury. Hopefully he will not miss this game because I need him because, I love my man Jaden Daniels. The Commanders are doing good somehow, and hopefully they keep going, knock on wood. I really want to see the Commanders win a playoff game this season. I'm really hoping that, Jaden Daniels' rib injury wasn't serious. Because Marcus Mariota still did a great job, though, replacing him, filling in, but still, that's not good for the Commanders. And because of that, if he doesn't return, I may have to go with the Bears. The Bears are an amazing team. They have done an amazing job. However, they had an easy schedule, apparently, but I still think that they can win this game. It's going to be a close game, though, but I still think the Bears can win this game because, again, my Commanders are a little bit injured, so I still think they could do it. Bears will beat the Commanders, unfortunately, 31-27. Bears will be 5-2. Commanders will be 5-3. We move on with our next game. Coming up at our next game, we got an AFC West matchup between the undefeated team left in the league, the 6-0 Chiefs, between the 2-5 Raiders. Chiefs are here after knocking out the 49ers in that Super Bowl 58 rematch, 28-18. The Chiefs, even though, Mahomes threw for 2 interceptions, he didn't have a great game, but they're still undefeated. They're doing an amazing job. However, Juju Smith-Schuster is hurt now with a hamstring injury. He will not be back until Monday night, November 4th against the Buccaneers, which is a huge disadvantage for Kansas City. And I think Pacheco may come back this week finally after suffering that fibula injury in week 2 against the Bengals, and they won all those games when he was gone. And I think they're going to continue that winning streak. They're taking on the Raiders, who lost Aiden O'Connell due to him suffering that bad thumb sprain injury. He broke his thumb in the game against the Rams, and apparently Desmond Ridder is now a Raider now after signing from the Cardinals. After getting released from Arizona, he's now a Raider. I don't know if he's starting or Gardner Minshew, but I still think the Kansas City Chiefs will top off the Raiders on this one. It'll be a close game, though, but I still think Kansas City will win this one. Chiefs will beat the Raiders 21-18. The Chiefs will remain undefeated at 7-0. The Raiders will be 2-6. We move on with the next game. Coming up at our next game, we got the 1-6 Panthers and the 4-3 Broncos. Panthers, they're here after losing to my Commanders, baby. 40-7. They completely just got destroyed by my team, and I'm very happy. Andy Dalton looks really bad. The Red Rifle is just completely exploding. They're just terrible, that Panthers team. They have not won a game since September, and it was against the Raiders of all teams, 36-22. They're going on to Denver in that Super Bowl 50 rematch. Broncos are here after completely knocking the Saints out on Thursday night, 33-10. I still think the Broncos are a great team. Bo Nix is an amazing quarterback. Sean Payton knows what he's doing. I think the Broncos could make a playoff push. And I think because of that, I think they're going to knock out Carolina very easily with no issues. Broncos will beat the Panthers 35-7. Broncos will be 5-3. The Panthers will be 1-7. We move on with the next game. Coming up next, with our next game, we got Sunday Night Football between the 3-3 Cowboys and the 3-4 49ers. Cowboys are coming back from their bye week. They're all energized. They're all rested up. Micah Parsons may possibly return this game after suffering an injury. He was out for a couple weeks, but now he may be back. However, it's in Levi Stadium in San Francisco between the Niners, who lost to Kansas City 28-18, and oh my goodness, the 49ers are in big trouble. Turns out Brandon Ayuk, they're here after losing to the Chiefs, and Brandon Ayuk is done for the whole season after touring his ACL and MCL. So no more Brandon Ayuk. And to make it even worse, Deebo Samuel has suffered from pneumonia during the Chiefs game. He got very ill, and now he was in the hospital. The 49ers are completely hungover after that Super Bowl loss. They're banged up. They have so many injuries. Christian McCaffrey may possibly return after their bye week, week 9, November 10th. They may return for the Buccaneers, but I still think the Cowboys can win this game because the Cowboys are, coming back from the bye week. They got Micah Parsons back. It just does not look good for the 49ers, and because of that, I think the Cowboys will win this game. Cowboys will beat the Niners 20-9. Cowboys will be 4-3. The 49ers will be 3-5. We move on with our next game. And last but not least for this week, we got the 2-5 Giants and the 5-2 Steelers. Giants are here after completely getting blown out by the Eagles 28-3 at MetLife Stadium. That whole Giants team is completely bad, but their defense was very good against Cincinnati Sunday night in Week 6. They're going on to Pittsburgh against the Steelers, who completely knocked out the Jets Sunday Night Football after starting Russell Wilson over Justin Fields, which was very weird. But I still think the Steelers are going to win this game. They're going to put up a fight, the Giants, but I still think Pittsburgh will win this game because the Steelers are a better team, and I don't know if they're going to either start Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. But I want to see Pittsburgh win this game because, again, they're a good team, and I like to see them win. Steelers will beat the Giants 25-19. Steelers will be 6-2. Giants will be 2-6. And that is it for this week, everybody. These are all my NFL picks for Week 8. Tune in next week for Anthony's NFL Picks Week 9, which will be premiering next Tuesday, October 29th. This is Anthony signing off, and have a great week.